And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. And it is a Friday afternoon. Griquas versus the Western Province. Now, this is a pretty important game with regards to the entire sort of Currie Cup landscape. And as a Lions fan, very important that the Griquas do us a favor. Because if the Lions were to beat the Sharks tomorrow, they could potentially go into fourth place. But we kind of need the Griquas to do us a favor and beat them for that to kind of happen. So as we were entering the last 2 weekends of the Currie Cup, a lot of different outcomes that are all still very possible, and lots of very different lots still to play for. Really, I think it's the main thing. It's very much not a dead rabbit at the moment. So a couple of teams that can't afford to slip up. A couple of teams who are pretty much guaranteed their spots, and yeah. So if we look at the table, before we look at the two sides and look at and sort of see what the situation is, for example, the Griquas are sitting on 30 points. They are 1 point behind the Western Province, and so actually a draw would be the perfect sort of result for the Lions. But yeah, Griquas will be playing in pinks today, by the way. It's actually a pretty cool jersey. They're sitting on 30 points. So a win for them would actually take them above the Western Province into fourth place. If it's a bonus point win, for example, then they could actually stay there. But the Bulls, you kind of expect them to get a bonus point win tomorrow, so they can go up to 36 points. The Lions, if they get a bonus point, they're going to have to get a bonus point to win tomorrow against the Sharks to also go to 36 points. So, I mean, at the moment, there are literally 4 teams all vying for that fourth spot. And if Pumas were to go back-to-back losses, then all of a sudden they could be under a bit of pressure. So Greek was playing to keep themselves alive in this competition. A loss today would almost take them out of contention to make those Currie Cup playoffs. So there is still quite a lot on the line here for the Griquas. So we look at the two teams, shall we? And see who is who in the zoo. For the Griquas, who are the home side, we in Kimberley, it is Kutzwa Dube, Yanko Ace, Justin Forward, Dylan Schaublom, Derek Pretorius, Tabo in Demande, Hanu Surgery will captain the side, Carl Els in the number 8 jersey, Jan Mulder, Will, partner, Lubabalo, Dobelo, Luther Obi, Oscar Speckman, the 2 wings, Tertius Korea, JC now in the centres, George Whitehead at fullback, as Clayton Blomkeys, the Stormers fullback, gets it underway. And it's a pretty good take up there as well. For the Griquas, as Johan Mulder is presented the ball, and Hanu Sergil makes his first carry of the day. Off the bench for the men in pink, it'll be Sean Swart, Eddie Davids, Labor Lamini, Johan Retief, Stephen Smith, Regan Orania, Eddie Pashier, and Sango Lashe. As Johan Mulder goes to the boot, lifting it high in the air for the likes of Luther Obi to chase, and Blomik is taking that well. Turnover here, Paul de Vet going neatly for Sheer. Hachiba Daimani in the number 8 jersey today. Expect a big game from him. Share from that URC final. And it's going to Benny knocking that down, but backwards was the Koya, and all of a sudden a bit of space here for Angelo Davids. Roscoe Speckman completing the tackle here. And Paul DeVet now going to inside ball to Connor Evans eventually. It takes him to the 22 side stuff here from the Western Province. We'll go through their lineup in just a moment. Quite a few players from the URC who are involved today. Paul DeVet going to the right side. Cam Blomke seeing a bit of space. Going to Sco into Benny, who then throws a very big forward pass that all ends touch. Shall we go through the Western Province side, shall we? It is Astor Mark, Sco into Benny, neatly for Sheer to start the front row. RJ Smith is next to Connor Evans, Marcel Tennyson, Ben Jason Dixon, Hachiva Diamani are the loose chair. All 3 of those players involved in the URC final a week ago. Paul DeVet next to Yuri Mattia, Leon Zas, Angelo Davis, the 2 wings, Jean de Jong, run now the centres, and a fullback, Clayton Blomkeys. Then off the bench, it is Andre Hugo Fenter, Leon Lyons, Liam Marvin Mazabuko, Ruben van Heerden, Billy Engelbrecht, Lonel, and Godlin Simbler, and Cornel Smith. So it is a 6-2 split off the bench for the Western Province. And we are going to have our first set piece of the day. Decent scrum there. And a very good and solid carry as well. In the midfield from Tertius Clear, who will carry a lot today. Arno Surgeon now, the captain, looking to try and make a few yards. Side 22 are the Griquas. Mulder going to George Whitehead, playing a lot of rugby in the 15 jersey. Him and Lubabalo Dobelo play quite a nice little partnership there. Clayton Blomkeys gets the ball inside from Angelo Davids. But there's a penalty here from the referee. And I think it's against the Griquas for offside. It is against the Griquas for offside. So they're going to go all the way back. This could be the opportunity for points here for the Western Province. Yeah, so it's Tertius Currie there who could see that penalty. Just offside, never really sort of retreated ahead of the kicker. So no opportunity of the Western Province. They've gone to the corner. Let's go into Benny. It's a good take there from Connor Evans. The young lock who goes up and comes down. It looks like a pretty well set maul as well. Starting to spin towards the left-hand side to go into Benny. But it's actually back. I think Ben Jason Dixon has broken over. He's got it over as well. It's not Ben Jason Dixon. I think it could be Marcel Tennyson who's got this in the end. It is Marcel Tennyson who's broken away. Right, so try for the Western Province. That's a pretty good start for them. Marcel Tennyson into the side. It's fourth Currie Cup try. Yeah, it was a pretty well set more. Yeah, Goose didn't say much of a chance, unfortunately, for them. Right, now the first opportunity of the day for you, Mathieu. No Jean-Louis Duplessis today, who has been captaining the Western Province in the last few weeks. So an opportunity for the youngsters to show what he's worth. And that's going to go down straight down the middle, actually. Very good kick from the young fly half. And Western Province leading 7 points to 0 after 5 minutes is the worst possible start for a Lions fan. Yeah, probably quite chuffed if you're a Western Province fan. Doesn't get much better starts than that. John de Jong. Oh, Luther Obi's done brilliantly, and Griquas have won that back. You had Mulder eventually come away with it. That's a brilliant chase there from Luther Obi. Now Griquas with the ball in hand. I tell you, I quite like this. But it's quite fancy this pink jersey. A lot of opportunities here. Good take from Tertius Currie, goes down and gets up and has to go again. Good offload. Then Kuzo Dube carries it up. Getting the offload there from Justin Forward. Now a bit of space there. Roscoe Speckman seeing a bit of space. Steps away from one. Eventually brought down by Andy Mark. Good carry there from the speedster. Jan Mulder, good quick ball here. Carl Al's a little bit indecisive, but managed to get away from Moss Tennyson. Eventually runs it to Chiu Mani. Does well with the number 8 now. Roscoe Speckman in at scrum half. Step back on the inside from the big Dylan Schorblom. But the ball's coming loose, and Jan Mulder tried to scamper through. Referee coming back for the penalty, so interested to see what the Griquas do. It is pretty much right in front of the pole, so it could very well go for 3 points here, but you are down by 7. Right, so Goose decided to go down the corner there. So first opportunity for them to try and cross that white line. Yanko Ace is going to have to find, looks like it's going to be Pretorius who wants it. No, they go to the front of the line out to Schorblom. And a penalty there from the Western Province. So for Griquas, an opportunity for them to get a bit closer, actually. They're about 10 meters out. I reckon they can get themselves to about 5 meters out. So I reckon they'll probably have another go at this. Yep, they do. George Whitehead knocks into the corner. And they seem to have gone through as the grounding. And a try has been awarded. Well, there we go. There we go. Kudwa Dube, the man who goes over. And the Griquas do hit back. No, in fact, Chauvelin eventually gets over. So he goes over. I think he just breaks it on top. He never passed the ball there. And Western Province not really aware to the threat. He just turns and dots it over. Griquas sit back. Kick to come. Things you love to see. A nice fast start for both teams. Very much a Griquas supporter today. Very unashamedly a Griquas supporter today. I need them to do us. In fact, a draw would be phenomenal. A draw would be sensational. It would be the best that's ever happened to the Currie Cup, as far as I'm concerned, because the draw would suddenly put them both on 33 points, which means if the Lions were to just win tomorrow, they would go on to 35. They got a bonus point win tomorrow, they're going to 36, which actually could tie the Pumas if they were to lose to the Free State without a point. But their points difference is mental. Bulls expected to get a bonus point win against Griffins tonight, but the Lions play against the Griffins next weekend. So in theory, if that's a bonus point win, tomorrow is the big game for the Lions. And George Whitehead looking to start pretty right to left. Does bring it back run right very nicely. Straight over the middle. And 7 points at pop. Where's the lightning when you need it? Call it now. Call the game now. Just call it. We've had enough. We've had enough. There's no need to check anything else. There's no need to keep playing. We can just call it, I reckon. Are you all keen on that? All happy with that? I'm happy with that. Right, the restart from Taylor Blomwick. He's down the left-hand side. Good chase from Zas, but Yamilda does come away with it. Goes to the boot. Won't find touch. Decent kick, actually. And Taylor Blomwick does field, giving you into Yuri Mattia. Looking for options here. He's going to go himself to the young scrum off. Good tackle from Dube. Really good work with that from the loose head. Getting up nice and quickly. Now Paul de Vet. Popping it to Ali Famar. Goes to Taylor Blomwick. Taylor Blomwick is nice and short to Marcel Tennyson. Western Province just inside Griquas half on the left-hand side. Now Blomwick inside ball to Scurry into Benny mid-hard in the tackle though. Good tackle on him. Paul de Vet wants to go himself and then sees Marcel Tennyson. There's another, always a willing runner. Kutsar Dube once again putting in the hard work there. Oh, that's a great offload. Ruan now. Dylan Zas. Inside ball. Paul de Vet, but that is just a Ruan now masterclass. Straight through the hands. Around the back there. The wing shot up. An overlap. Inside ball to Paul de Vet. The Western Province are over again. Defense is very optional so far. But Ruan now, what a touch that is from him. Yeah, Ruan now, it's a brilliant offload from him. So Pricey and playing. He's played a lot of games for the Stormers. And John Dobbs talking about the fact that URC, that they won't just load the Currie Cup side with the URC players. Well, let's count how many were involved last week, shall we? For Mark, for Shear, Tennyson, Benjo Dixon, Daimani, Paul de Vet, Leon Zas, Ruan Nall, Angelo Davids, Ken Blom, because I don't think he actually ever came on. That's already 10, by the way. 11, 12. Yeah, so 12 out of the 23. So, I mean, it is half a side that they've suddenly just sort of loaded up. So, I wouldn't say it's entirely true that they weren't that they didn't throw a lot of players in. But at the end of the day, if they lose this, they're in trouble. So, I couldn't afford really to take too much of a gamble. To really kick it once again. If you want it back once again, this is brilliant work from them off the kickballs. Very, very underrated part of the game. You've got a really good kick chase. All of a sudden, Roscoe Speckman's got a bit of space. Fires it to George Whitehead, fires it out. Bit of space ahead. Has he got the pace? He's going to be battled under touch. Didn't stand much of a chance there, did JC Nall. Jibidai Money get across, as did Ruan Nall. But the Griquas, tell you what, that's the second time they've gone to try behind and responded brilliantly. George Whitehead, Russell Speckman really linking up nicely there. I tell you what, I'm really enjoying the rugby I'm seeing from George Whitehead. Just looks so composed these days. Never really sort of happy for him. It's just he was a strange. He's had a strange career. Because he's a very reliable player, very good place kicker, very clutch. But just never really happened for him. He's 34 years of age, so he's kind of getting on in years. Probably guilty of never being at the right sort of franchise. Spent most of his career at the EP Kings during that sort of 2010, 2015 period, and then it's kind of floated around between Cheetahs, Griquas. I think he did a stint actually at the Western Province. Back to the Cheetahs, back to the Griquas. So he's just sort of never really settled anywhere. It's a really good clearance from Paul de Vet right up towards the halfway line, so pinning the Griquas back a bit. But he's a good player. He's a very good player, especially for a team like the Griquas. It's exactly the type of player you'd like to have in your side. Right, so just inside Storm and Western Province territory. Yanko 8th with ball in hand. Derek Pretorius and Dylan Schaublum, the try scorer, and it's been dropped down for Johan Mulder. Almost a bit of a high tackle coming there from Diamani, but Griquas do attain, and Russell Speckman walks into scrum off position, as you'd imagine. Often does sort of deputise whenever the scrum off has been drawn into the ruck. Johan Mulder does pop up. It's a good little kick in behind. It had the penalty advantage, though. They'll go back for the penalty, so Western Province discipline's been letting them down a little bit so far. Griquas with another opportunity now to kick further into Western Province half and tries to set up another set piece. Yeah, that's it. I thought there might have been a high tackle for Darmani, and that has been the call in the end. Another good line out, Johan Mulder. Oh, looking to set up another maul. Bit of a change of action there. A bit like and they've got a penalty advantage. It's exactly. I mean, that's out of the Springbok textbook, isn't it? And you go back for the penalty. That's straight out of the Springbok playbook. Going for the maul once again. You are the Griquas. And that's turned over the ball. You have Western Province. Really good work from them. That's a lot of mauls they've had to absorb pressure of. You have a reset here. My favorite thing ever. I hate a reset scrum. Absolutely hate it. I'm wasting my time and get going. Right, it's gone straight down. Yeah, penalty for the Western Province. A lot of pressure on Kuze Dube coming from Detlef Bashir. He's a quality scrummager. Western Province do get the penalty. And at the 20-minute mark here, Western Province, I'd say the dominant side. Griquas haven't gone away yet, but Western Province do seem to know all of a sudden they've stopped the more turnover ball, had the scrum, won the penalty. So far, pretty good work here from the away side. The only thing with the Griquas there, they have to put them away. They're a side that will not go away. They will go at you for 80 minutes. So if you don't put them away, then you do risk a potential comeback. They're a side that's very good at doing that. And it's a bit of a messy line out there, but it has been turned over for the Griquas. So I'm saying that they will stay in the fight. Penalty as well from Western Province. From the side as the course going to Benny cannot believe it. So all of a sudden, Griquas will once again be able to get themselves back into Western Province territory and stop putting them under pressure again. Pretty messy line. The Youngker S eventually managed to find Russell's paper. He's half a gap over. He's been hammered though by Detlef Bashir. That's not gone well for him at all. Arnold Sergio straight through, just short. Now, oh, that's a horrible pass. And Jason now under a bit of pressure. Turn a ball now for Western Province. It's annoying from the Greek because it's another good opportunity for them, putting a lot of pressure on them, just not managing to really capitalize. A little bit of discipline maybe from them, or a little bit of more sort of clinicalness. That's another good clearance there from Paul DeBet. He's really been good from the base of the rack. James Gatt says, "How Steve? Do you know if Peter is on the bench there?" I don't think so. I didn't see him when I read up the team list. No, he's not. Yeah, that's I don't remember the name, and yeah, so he's not on the bench. No, it's been a break in play. There's an injury. Yeah, so as it stands, Western Province go up to 35 points. Griquas will go up to 31 points, and they'll go ahead of the Bulls. So right now, West Province will remain in fourth, but establish a 4-point buffer. The Griquas will go ahead of the Bulls into sixth, but Lions and Bulls both with games in hand. Right, so Griquas will have the restart chip. I'll be back and ready to go. Oh, they've gone short. Back to Ace. It's a good pickup now. Ace comes to the inside. Angelo David is not particularly keen on tackling him. Thank you for him. Connor Evans decided to come in and help out. Oh, the hands. Luther Obi now come back on the inside. Where in fact he goes on the outside. Luther Obi doing everything he can to try and get through. The better nice and short. Wasn't the best take, but he picks up and goes. John de Jong. Turnover ball here now. And now Yo Mateo will find a clearance. A very good clearance in the going off as well. Yeah, it's a bit frantic at the moment. Western Province living a lot on the edge. Griquas had a couple of nice moments. Just again, just losing the ball a couple of times, not holding on to it enough. Right. Griquas once again with the restart show with the with the line out. Not straight. That sums up, doesn't it? As I said, they've been pretty solid, but just haven't been accurate when they really needed to. And okay, it's just throwing that a little bit skew. So not been a particularly difficult. I was going to say not accurate. I think it's not been particularly accurate 10 minutes for the Griquas, but they have had all the possession recently, so they're pretty happy with that regard. It's gone up. I'm going to have a reset here. But Western Province, ominous signs, I'd say, for the Griquas at scrum time. Western Province do seem to very much have the measure of them neatly for shares, giving Kuzedobe a lot of hard work here, and he's not coping particularly well. Yeah, Felicia now popping up there, so it's much better from Dube. And let's see if we can try and get reward for that. It says, no dramas. Do you think players like Henk van Veek and Molester should have been in the box camp? I mean, Henk van Veek hasn't played rugby in like almost 9 months now. And that's wheeled around. Penalty advantage for Western Province. Chividan Mai's come with and given it on the way for Paul de Vet as well. Not too many options for Paul de Vet because how to go to his right to Yo Mateo. Those long pass out towards Ruan now. He's got a bit of space popping up for him. Ruan now straight through. Big tuck coming in, but he managed to get the offload away to the end of Bashir. Paul de Vet, the offload here. And off the ground. Oh, it's just been knocked on by Yuri Matia. Brilliant offload there from the Western Province. I'll go back for the penalty. And that is a very big warning, I think, being fired at the Griquas in terms of what the Western Province can do with ball in hand when they want to. Good last steal once again from the Griquas, though. They've turned possession over. So they're hanging on here, the Griquas. Very, very much hanging on. That's a pretty good clearance as well from George Whitehead. Taking it quickly, though. Clayton Blomik is finding a bit of space. Goes inside to Angelo Davids, who's been brought down. Popping out to Paul DeVet. Thought about the kick. Now gives it to Chiva Diamani. Diamani back inside towards Ruan Nal. Ruan Nal. Bit of a dummy runner there. Still going as Ruan Nal. Still going as Ruan Nal into the 22. And penalty for the Western Province. I'll tell you what. They've got 2 tries. If I was them, I wouldn't be too adverse to actually kicking this over. Oh dear. Oh dear. From bad to worse for the Griquas. They have been sin binned. So Griquas will now finish the rest of the half. Well, just pretty much finish the rest of the first half with a man in the bin. Tabo Indemande has been binned, and he will spend the next 10 minutes on the side of the field, which means that Western Province, who have kicked it out, by the way, they are going for the full Monty. They do want the points. They'll have a 14-man Western Province side, 14-man Griquas side to contend with for the next 10 minutes. And free kick. Free kick to the Griquas. Once again, Skyrim and Tabeni not particularly impressed, but the accuracy, I think, both sides, actually. Yeah, so yeah, I think it was the old booking is what they used to call that. And nice going to Benny this time, making no mistake. Although there has been another contest at the line. I'll tell you what, Griquas have got this no one absolutely waxed. This time we're straight into the hands of David Torres and Connor Evans rather than straight out. So Griquas a turnover ball once again. Johan Muller taking a while to get this ball to the back of the rack. He does take the duties upon himself, lifts it high in the air. Roscoe Speckman is chasing. This is going right up against the touchline. Will be out in the full. That's a dreadful kick coming from Johan Mulder. And all that pressure, they just relieve that line out steal. They just put it straight back on. Daimani taps it back. Paul DeVet under a bit of pressure here. Now it's going to Benny, but he's very isolated. Jan Mulder's all over that ball. That is brilliant work from the scrum half. Well, that's how you make amends for your mistake. Straight over that ball, and Ali from Mark is trying to get a scrum half off it, and he just can't, which is either very impressive behind Mulder or pretty poor from Ali Mark. If you look at the weight difference between the two, in the end, it's really good work done from Mulder. Former Bulls player. About 24 of age these days, I reckon. Decent kick from George Whitehead. If I touch just shy of the 22. And I mean, I'll tell you what, if a 14-man Griquas side can go and score a try against the Western Province, that'll be absolutely brilliant for them. Good take. Pick up and go as well again. So just shy of 22. Good work there from the Griquas. Jan Mulder. Go into Janko Ace. Now DeBella, what does he want to do? Goes flat to Honda Sergil. And then hard the tackle by Scar and DeBella. Gets up as well. And has a go. And Jan Mulder needs to get this ball out. Fires it up to Kudzwe Dube. He's been hard by his opposite number, Ali for Mark. Master Tennyson also working really hard in that tackle. Now DeBella, a bit of a fumble that eventually has to go himself. Lost a bit of momentum there, and I think, yeah, he has lost it forward as well. As I said, some silly errors coming from the Griquas. They're generally playing quite well, generally keeping themselves in the hunt and in the game, but just a couple of silly errors all of a sudden. But they have managed to get through almost half the yellow card without conceding any points, which is all about managing the game. And they're only 5 points behind, so for all that, I think that they probably could be ahead, actually, if they've been a bit more accurate. They have had the better opportunities. Accuracy lacking, but again, from a Western Province point of view, you've got to be careful when the Griquas are like this, because eventually something will stick. And they are a side that can all of a sudden, score a couple of points right at the end, and all of a sudden you're either trailing or you could be, on the cusp of a potential loss. So they're a dangerous side in that regard. If you don't put them away early, then they stay with you the entire game. If they do stay with you the entire game, then watch out, because they've got that last sort of 10 minutes. They really do are a side that can run quite a few tries in, or can really give it a go and put you under a lot of pressure. And a penalty at scrum time now for the Western Province. This time, though, it's not against Kudzwa Dube. It's actually against Justin Forward. The Greek was tight head. Right, just over, well, basically 6 minutes to go left. On the yellow card, there's 5 minutes left. So as I say, at this stage, the Greeks are still surviving despite being down to 14 men. But now under all sorts of pressure, it's going to be ball in hand on the 22 with the line out. It's a good line as well. Paul de Beek going very flat to Yuri Mathieu. Goes to Jan de Jong, who spins in the tackle, loses the ball in possession as well. Now Tertius Currie comes away with it, got a bit of space. Going himself as Tertius Currie. Nice, very strong carry from the number 12. Roscoe Speckman doing well as well to get to the breakdown and secure that ball. Johan Mulder now taking his time. They're going to look to try and slow things down a little bit. Goes to Henry Sergil, the captain. He loses a meter or two, but eats up a few seconds. And now goes that toward Whitehead. Steps away from a couple of people. Nice, he's a bit of space. There's George Whitehead. Oh, come on, man. That is dreadful. It's been dropped by JC now and turned over from Western Province. That's so much space. Ali from Mark now. Paul de Vet. That's gone down. This is all just, that's been knocked down, knocked backwards. Now Leon Zats under pressure. Arnold Sergel, he's been thrown off actually. Leon Zats gets it away. Now the ball's come loose. That might be the most messy passage of play I think I've ever watched in any rugby game ever. Zats, I mean, I can't believe how many surgeons have been thrown off the ball by Leon Zats. It's not a moment he'll like to remember too quickly. As a flanker and as the captain, you don't really want to be thrown off the ball by the opposition's wing, do you? A bit embarrassing, to say the least. Jean de Jong. Off the back of the scrum there. Good carry from him. Quick ball in for Paul de Vet. Popping it up to Connor Evans. Strong carry from the number 5. Paul de Vet now going short to Diamani. Steps inside. Currie is clear, having to make the tackle. Paul de Vet going to Yuri Mattia. Oh, it's a great line being run by Leon Zats. Good tackle from Roscoe Speckman. Yuri Mattia and a bit of pressure here. Marty scrum off this year in the Varsity Cup. Back on the inside, here comes Smith. Dube getting him nice and quickly here. Good defense here from the Griquas, but promising for the Western Province. Mattia goes short to Neatly Bashir. Paul de Vet now wants to change the van, goes back on the right hand side to Ali for Mark. He was from a standing start, doesn't make 2 minutes ground. Oh, pick up and go though from Ben Jason Dixon. Paul de Vet, Neatly Bashir, they're just short. Arnold Sergel has to leave it. Paul de Vet's got options here. Marcinson's right there. Can they stop him? No, they can't, is the answer. No, they can't. Try number 3 for the Western Province. The Griquas defense eventually is penetrated by Master Tennyson. He gets over for a second. Pretty average defense in the end, actually. I mean, that was far too easy for him. Got himself into a good position. Had support, gets himself nice and low, but just drives over the line with ease, really. Jerry Mattia has had 2 kicks this season. This is his first game kicking a goal here. And has missed 1 of them. So currently operating at 50%. That's a pretty straightforward kick though. And he makes no mistake. Right, 19 points to 7, and yeah, just annoying from the Greeks because it's the worst time to really concede. Just before half time, you're now suddenly going into half time without any momentum. You're pretty flat, for example. It's difficult to pick yourself up. You know, you're 5 points behind. You're now 12 points behind. So that's a bit of a sucker punch. The good news is they should be back to a full contingent in the next sort of 30 seconds. All right, Whitehead going deep there. Goes to claim Blomkeys. Blomkeys is opting to go to the boot immediately, looking for territory. It's about game management with a minute to go till half time, and that should be the end of the Griquas yellow card, so we can go and remove that. Look, the worst crowd over there at Windhoek Park. This is for a Friday afternoon. Right, ace. Good line there from the Griquas. Better going very flat. Tertius clear. Getting the offload away to Arnold Sergel. The brilliant tackle coming from Ben Jason Dixon. The quick ball to Mulder to Jabello. Sees a bit of space in behind. Roscoe Speckman's kicked it ahead. Roscoe Speckman's kicked it ahead again. Is it going to stop? JC, no! Has got it down. There we go. Well, I spoke about how it's terrible to go into halftime after conceding. That's the perfect way to go into halftime now. Scoring a try. Brilliant try as well. The skill set. And JC now there to finish. Roscoe Speckman, brilliant chasing there. 2 kicks in the head from him. And the ball just popped up. JC Null first missed it. First 10 missed it. Popped it up. And it must have taken an age for it to come down. Nice little kick in behind. Pressure on there from Angelo Davids. Once again, another kick in from Roscoe Speckman. The ball bounces up. Jason Null gets to get fingertips and eventually comes down for him. Gets it down. And Griquas hit back as the clock goes red. Pretty important kick this now. 7-point advantage the Western Province currently have. But if George Whitehead nails this, it'll bring it down to a 5-point deficit once again. And they'll feel like they've got a bit of momentum going into halftime. And that's always quite an important thing. So, when you it just changes the halftime chat, doesn't it? When you walk into the change room and they're going, "Oh, we just scored. We're in this game." They're nothing that special and stuff like that. As opposed to if you've just conceded and then you're sort of going, "Oh no, we've messed up with that." But that's a very good kick from George Whitehead as well. Right, so there we go. Half time, 19 points to 14. West Province leading by a sole try. 3 tries to 2 in the first half over in Kimberley. Pretty good half as well. Expect plenty of action in the second half to come. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, let's do this. All right, second half underway. Clayton Blomke's underneath the kickoff. Griquas trailing by 5 points, 14 points to 19. The Western Province do lead in Kimberley. And yeah, the one more try would get them a bonus point. But for them, it's all about the result. The bonus point doesn't, I mean, it makes a big difference, no doubt about it. Given the fact that the Bulls will probably get a bonus point today. But yeah, the victory is the most important thing here for the Griquas. They cannot afford, or for the West Province or the Griquas, because a loss for either side kind of puts them out of that top 4. And yeah, with 2 weeks to go, you can't afford to be buckling now, can you? Not at all. Right, so it'll be a Griquas scrum now on the 22. Oh, almost a bit of a fumble. Jan Mulder looking for the inside ball, and it goes to absolutely nobody. Ruin now picks it up, though. This is the problem with the Griquas. They've had a couple of opportunities where they've started to get a bit fancy, but just haven't really managed to make anything work. Now, deep kicking behind, and George Whitehead is having to do a lot of backtracking with a lot of Western Province players converging on him, but he stays very calm and kicks down here, but does not find touch. So Ruin now wants to get back up to full stride, gets away from one, brought down by DeBello and Jan Mulder. Good work there from the scrum half and fly half. Now you're even here. Oh, it's Mr. Mark and Chuda Marnie. Oh dear, he's gone down in a heap. And it'll be a knock on. So it'll be a Griquas ball there. Diamani, a bit of a clash there. Just goes down and then looks up and yeah, runs into the shoulder of Currie. Nothing in that really. Yeah, so they take the hit contact, but there's no foul play, so they're happy with that. Going to Benny has been replaced, which means Andre Hugo Fenter will get an opportunity in this half to get quite a lot of minutes under his belt. Mulder going to the right-hand side there. George White had seen space on the left, though. And Clayton Blomke's, because his hand up doesn't manage to regather. Eventually does by the try line. Got a lot of time to find a good clearance here as Clayton Blomke's. Not a bad one either, as Amy Bauturan does lift her flag just shy of the 10-meter line. No, I've got a bit of a bone to pick with SA Rugby. We are not seeing enough of Amy Bauturan refereeing in this Currie Cup. We've seen it a couple of times, but we're not seeing her doing enough in South African rugby from a refereeing point of view. She's, for me, by hands down our best referee, and she's getting opportunities, but not nearly enough, and not nearly enough of high-profile games. All right, Mulder to Bello, George Whitehead, JC Null on the outside, good tackle there. Roscoe Speckman giving it away to Harnu Sergil. Wants to try and get back on the front foot. Griquas a possession. South Timmy on the right side. Jan Mulder goes short. And Paul DeVet's come up quickly. And Tertius Clear is going to take the direct route. Now Mulder back to Bello. Not too many options. So this is high in the air. That's a brilliant take from into Monday. He's got the pace. Look at the pace. And he throws you off the way to Bello over. Well, there we go. How's that for a start? How is that for a start? The Griquas try before half-time, try after half-time. They level the scores with a kick to come. Brilliant work from Ndimande. That's how you make up for getting a yellow card. The kick up from DeBello. Brilliant take up the air from Indemande. Bang! I tell you what, you wouldn't think he's a flanker, would you? And in the presence of mind to know that as Angelo Davis starts reeling him in, throws that boy back inside to DeBella, who runs a really good supporting line. Griquas over, kick to come. Game on. Very, very much game on. Right, George Whitehead, what can he conjure up here? On the right-hand side. Not the easiest kick, but straight down the middle from George Whitehead. And the Griquas lead for the first time of the match. Perfect start to the second half. Great take from Indemande. I mean, that was creating something out of nothing. Right, okay, completing Blomikeys down the right-hand side there. Arnold Serge underneath it. He's been busy once. He always is busy, Arnold Serge, the Griquas captain. Now Kutsua Dube. Nice strong carry from him. Now deep kick. Fielded by Caden Blomikeys. Goes inside to Yuri Mathieu. Now he lifts it high in the air for Caden Blomikeys to chase George White converging. It's tossed back towards the side of the Griquas side, and Connor Evans, who eventually somebody wants to take it, eventually forced under Hugo Fenter, goes to Martinez and goes to Darmani. Big tackle coming on in from Luther Obi. I think it's a knock-on advantage here for Western Province. And that looks like a replacement, by the way. I think that could be is that Leon Lyons? Yeah, it is Leon Lyons is on. Paul de Vet, that must be forward. Surely that's forward. How is that not forward? Mr. Ref, get a pair of glasses. Under Hugo Fenter still going, but that was clearly forward to Paul de Vet. In fact, almost everybody stopped. Surely that was forward, though. I mean, that for me, that is so forward. Penalty again for Western Province on the 5-meter line. Yeah, a bit of trouble time, yeah, for Griquas. I'm sure going to go for the line once again. I mean, you remember, mind, they need one try for the bonus point. They do contest, do the Griquas, but it's fallen back to Jean de Jong. I think it should be a knock-on advantage here for Western Province. Once again, really good contest to the line, though, for the Griquas. Putting a lot of pressure on Western Province in the breakdown as well. Paul de Vet now to Darmani. So, tackle there coming from Sebo Lamini. From a Bulls prop. Connor Evans now. Driven back. Paul DeVet going to Netley Bashir. Pick up and go as well from, I think that's Marcel Tennyson, who's searching for his hat trick if it is. Slow ball here from Paul DeVet. Allowing Griquas to set up. Connor Evans backing himself, but driven backwards. Really good defenses from the Griquas. They hang on. 8th phase now. Peyton Blommeke's at pace. But a good tackle on him. Now, Darmani. Not making any progress here as they go into their 10th phase to Western Province. Peyton Blommeky is sitting behind a couple of forwards. Marcel Tennyson scored 2 already. Driven backwards as well. Really impressive defenses from the Griquas. Now Ben Jason Dixon picks up and goes. He makes a meter or two. Now, Darmani with the balls come free. Luther Obi hacks to their head, but there was a penalty advantage. So they'll go back for it. Right, it's a penalty on the 5 meter. I wouldn't be surprised if the Stormers actually look for, West Pros looking for a scrum here. Just under half an hour left to go. 2 points in the game at the moment. Griquas with a slender lead. Western Province on their doorstep. Darmani off the back of the scrum though. Can't get his hands free. In fact, he's lost the ball forward. Brilliant defense from the Griquas. This is really, really good stuff from them. And now the kick ahead. Right, what can they do? Peyton Blommeke's gets it inside. Leland Zats. Leland Zats put a space ahead of him. Good tackle coming from Kudzwa Dube. He's got a lot of work here as the loose head today. Blommeke's wants to pick up and go again. And big counter right coming here from the Griquas, but it's eventually fallen to Jason Dixon, who got the offload away to Billy Engelbrecht to go into the park. Paul DeVet to Leon Lyons, gets away to Yuri Mattia. Big hit on him. And he's falling badly. Hunt Mulders all over that ball. Surely, and it's another. How many times do you see a scrum off winning 2 breakdown penalties? But Jan Mulder's been absolutely brilliant today at it. I'll tell you what, slapping number 6 on the back of his jersey. Really good work from the Griquas scrum off. And they're hanging on so far, the Griquas. Just a 2-point lead. But that was a really, really good. I think they'll take a lot of confidence out of that passage of play. Western Province, 10-11 phases on the doorstep. Eventually, conceding a penalty. And then from the back of the scrum, forcing the turnover as Darmani went himself, kicking it ahead. Then defending the counter-attack. And then Yuri Mattia just being tackled there right in front of Jan Mulder and gets his hands over the ball very quickly. Takes a while before he actually gets the penalty itself, so I had to really earn it. And now they can go play the game in the right sort of area of the field. Right, Yanko S is leaving the park, so it will be an opportunity now for Sean Swart to take over. A couple of changes coming in from both sides. We've seen Scarran Tabelli and Andy from Mark make way for the Western Province. This will be the second change for Griquas. And Smith is also coming on, by the way. Stefan Smith is coming on, as well as Ruben van Heerden for the Western Province. So quite a few subs coming on. Billy Engelbrecht replacing, well, it says replaces Hachiba Darmani, but we saw Darmani picking it up at the back of the scrum, and Billy Engelbrecht was, I'm pretty sure, involved before that. So I'm not entirely sure that is correct. Yeah, there is Darmani. So Billy Engelbrecht has not replaced Darmani. I think he's replaced Marcel Tennyson. Jan Mulder. It's a very good offload as well to save Clever Lamini. He was with possession to Bella. Fires it really flat to Arnold Sergio. Nice carry once again from the captain. He's worked really, really hard. Engelbrecht though. Here Ben Jason Dixon's turned that over. He's popped it up to Netling Bashir. Netling Bashir comes away with it. Really good turnover that from Ben Jason Dixon, one of my favorite players at the moment. Now they go short to Villa Engelbrecht. Good tackle there coming from Tertius Clear. Working hard as number 12, Paul DeVet to Ben Jason Dixon. Now DeVet, Mathieu down the centre of the park. Whitehead allows it to bounce. He's got DeVet on his left, and Luther Obi is starting to track back. And he's going to play it safe here. Is George Whitehead looking to find touch? Will find touch. Will Taylor Blomwick look to take quickly? No, he won't. It's a good chase from the man himself, George Whitehead. So Western Province will have a line out inside Griquas territory. As Griquas really looking to manage the game here. I mean, it's difficult to manage a 2-point lead for 25 minutes. I mean, they have to have done it for about half an hour. In fact, even longer than that in the end. Cornel Smith onto the park for Jean de Jong. He'll go into the centre there. Hasn't had a lot of game time as Cornel Smith, but as a promising player. Good take from Diamani. Cornel Smith gets his first opportunity, makes a meter or two. Now Ruben van Heerden, his first carry of the day, had a very good campaign in the Stormers jersey. Now looking to make an impact as a West Province player. Clayton Blommetjies getting the offload away. Now there's a lot of space for Angela Davids. George Whitehead is up to the tackle though. Quick ball here. Griquas defense being tested once again. Mathieu, a bit of a fumble. Under Hugo Fenter put under a lot of pressure. Kudzai Dube, and he's turned it over brilliantly as the loose head. Now Mulder fires it back towards Whitehead. Whitehead looking for that space. There's nobody back. That's going to go too far. It's going to go too far. Needs to stop. Needs to stop. It is going to... Oh, it has gone run over. It's going to go all the way back there. I can see the thinking from George Whitehead. He saw the 50-22. Got it completely wrong. He's hammered down the middle of the park. And it's going to be a scrum for the Western Province all the way back just outside the 22. There's a right idea. There was nobody back. So you can see what he was thinking. The execution, however, from George Whitehead just not good enough. Like the man saying 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th in the Currie Cup are all close to each other. Yeah, within 1 point of each other. So this is why this game is so important. A nice draw would be pretty perfect here for me. A lot's going to have to happen for that to be the case, unfortunately. Bianca Ace seems to be back though. Or is he? No, he's not off for Sean Swart. He was receiving some treatment earlier. So Sean Swart will get 24 minutes to make his mark. Big scrum here. Big important scrum here for the Griquas. Big opportunity for the Western Province. Just beyond the 10-meter line. Slightly on the right-hand side, but pretty central. So a lot of space to work with on either side of the scrum. Big scrum came in the Western Province there. Penalty advantage as well for them. Paul DeVet fumbles it, so they do have the penalty. Now, decision time, yeah. Again, they want the bonus point. 23 minutes, so still plenty of time. Immediately, they're not even thinking about taking the 3 points. They're just going to go for the corner, yeah. Right, so Andrew Hugo Venter, Ruben van Heerden. But it's going to go to Diamond. He's taking the ball very well last time. They put it back up towards Dixon. Paul DeVet goes short to Cornel Smith. Trying to rip the ball off on the tackle and pull the Vecco into Diamani, who's lost the ball in contact once again. That's not the first time, from Diamani who's lost the ball. So Griquas with the turn ball over. Jan Mulder wants a couple of blockers here. Needs to find a good clearance. Now he throws it back. And it's not the best clearance. But it will do, I think, is probably the main thing. I think it's JC Null in the end who actually kicked that. I'm trying to work out who it was, and why it was him. I'm not sure where George Whitehead was, or DeBella. Great take from Diamani once again, and one of the Griquas players got over the penalty advantage here for the Western Province. Corner Smith back on the angle, making a meter or two. Now Moss a lot of space for him. Tackle coming from Smith. Paul de Vet popping up, and it's gone through the hands of Nelly Bashir, and it's fallen to Villa Engelbrecht. It's gone forward, so they're going to go back for the penalty. It was a big tackle on Corners. Ruben van Heerden there. Yeah, and the jumper, just completely losing his balance and going straight over the top there. In fact, that's actually really, really poor back. Well, he basically just drops him, essentially. Right, so West Province will go once again with 20 minutes to go. They've had a lot of opportunities in the last 10 to 15 minutes, but Griquas have defended very well so far. They're going to move here in the front of the line. I'm looking to try and set this more. Looks pretty well set. They did score a try from the more earlier this game. And they made a meter or two, starting to hold up now. Once is the call. Now it's going pretty lateral. And over, and over, and over. The relentless pressure eventually does produce the result. Billy Engelbrecht, the man that goes over. But a lot of rugby against the Griquas with Billy Engelbrecht. And he goes over for his 13th Currie Cup try as we enter the final 20 minutes of the game. Yeah, as I said, the wall looked pretty well set, and as soon as it sort of held up, but then shifted all the way towards the right. And once it shifted towards the right, they had a bit of a run on to the Western Province. Very good kick from Yuri Matia, who has the extra. Once again, a 5-point game. So Griquas not out of it. But the Western Province with the bonus point now. George Whitehead going down the right-hand side. Luther Obi is chasing very hard. They've been pretty good at retaining the kickoffs here at the Griquas. Cornell Smith underneath that. Very well taken from him. Right, and Davis is on for Kuzwa Dube. Ball goes back to Matia, but I think there's a penalty for the Griquas for a high tackle. It must actually be a clean out because they didn't have possession. So, pulling the player behind the neck. Right, so that's a big mistake from Western Province. This has kind of been the problem with Western Province is that they've scored and then allowed Griquas back in almost immediately. Once again, it's against Nedley Bashir off the kickoff. Big game there from Kuzwa Dube. Getting around the park. Getting through a lot of work. Scrums were, it was struggled a couple of times, had a decent couple of hits. Generally, it wasn't particularly dominant. Go to the front of the line to Griquas. They're looking to try and set up their own maul themselves. They've also scored a try from the maul this game, so worth having a go. Edging forward, here are the Griquas. It's not shuffling around. Can they get another? No, Sergio has been drawn back in. This could be turnover boy unless they can get this ball out. Yeah, there's a penalty advantage for collapsing. A penalty here for the Griquas, so we have to have another go here. Just over 15 minutes to go. Could be a bit of a tense finish to the game. Good take there from Swart. This looks a lot better set here. And they're shifting around towards the left. They've broken apart. And they go over. And they've scored. They're not done yet, are the Griquas? They are not done yet. 26 each. Bonus point for the Griquas. Kick to come for the lead once again. What a game this is turning out to be. And I'll tell you what, for my benefit, missing the conversion, this being the final score, would be absolutely brilliant for me as a Lions fan. So, sure, George White said, you know what to do. Be a lad and just miss the conversion, and then let's keep the scoreline as it is, shall we? A nice draw would go down very well for me. Yeah, it's good. It's a good maul there. Right, Armani has now been subbed. Got him Massimla onto the park as well. So it looks like the West Province have emptied their bench because that's Massimla on. I think Lone now will obviously replace Armani. So as long as Lima Mazabuku is also on, then West Province have officially emptied their bench. Greek was leading by 2 points. Sango Kamlashe onto the park as well. Interesting to start to see him playing a bit more. I was very impressed with him when he came to the Lions for that stint. Would love to get him back, to be honest. Right, now what can the West Province cook up? Playing Blomikis with ball in hand. 13 minutes to go. Gets inside the Griquas territory now, going down the right-hand side. Got him a similar first couple of touches here. You're in a nice and short to leave Mazabuko. It's a good tackle on him. He's a big man, is Mazabuko. Matia going short to corner Smith, but Tertius is clear, doing well to get up and put pressure. And Smith, I think, over that ball as well. But missing out on the jackal. Got him a similar now back inside. Under Hugo Fenter puts his head down as they go into their sixth phase of the West Province. Not really making too much headway here. Okay, keys, and that's gone forward. Picked up by Sango Kamlashe. What can he do? What does he want to do? What does he want to do? Go himself. So turnover boy here for the Griquas. Now Jan Mulder firing out to DeBella. Going short to Sergio. He's just been relentless with his carrying today. Now back to DeBella. DeBella's needing a bit of space. Wants to just tip over the top of Clayton Blomikis here. Does pretty well. Gives it away to Matip, who will find touch. Very, very good game management there from DeBella. Just a nice little kick. Just turning to Blomikis. Not giving him too many options, but to try and kick for touch here. about game management. It's about keeping them in the right sort of areas, keeping the Western Province inside their own in their own half. Just manage the game. Yeah, the Griquas. What a scalp this would be to keep them alive in the competition. Give the rolling more, yeah, I agree. Because a couple of players have gone down. They do use it. Sean Swart goes himself. Mulder now. Arnie Sergil. Tackled hard. Slow ball, yeah, for Mulder. Wants to go down the blind side. Going to Roscoe Speckman. Roscoe Speckman's fine, but his space. Brilliant tackle coming on him from Lonell, I think it was. He had to make it. Now he had Mulder back towards Shaw Bloming. Just scored a try today. Now Mulder to better wants to switch the angle. Oh, George Whitehead fancies the drop goal. He's turned. Just down the left, I think. It had the distance. Not far away either. That's a brilliant effort. Nice idea from George Whitehead as well. The restart coming from Western Province to the hands of Debella, but they're going to have to do it again. So they're going to retake it. That'll run down 20 seconds. Just kind of hooked it always sliding towards the left-hand side there. Not the worst option, to be honest, and he could do it. It's not like it's a case of, you know, he doesn't have it in him. He does have it in him. Does George Whitehead. And it's a knock on there, I think, from the Western Province. It was brilliantly done. Return the ball over, but then losing it forward. So it'll be a Griquas scrum. That's a very nervous John Dobson watching on. He knows how big this result will be. This could very well be the Western Province going out of the Currie Cup, actually. That's how important this result could be if it doesn't go well. Big scrum. They just try and use it. They do use it. Goes to Johan Mulder. They skip out to Korean. Tango Kamlashe. He's gone straight through. He's all the way over. He is. There it is. That could be game, set, and match. The Griquas have gone over once again. Stango Kamlashe. I've been saying, where has he been? Where has he been? Well, he's come on. He's broken through. He's gone all the way. He's gone over. The brandy and cokes are flowing over in Kimberley. The Griquas have got a 6-point lead with a kick to come under the pole. So basically call it an 8-point lead with less than 8 minutes remaining. Have the Western Province just crashed out of the Currie Cup? That is the question. Oh, it's really, and everyone now, I think it's just lazy at the end of the day. It's just tired. It's fatigue catching up. Look what it means to the ball boys. Sango Klamlashke is such a popular figure in the Griquas side. Captained them for quite a few times. Eddie Bashir on the bench there. I don't think too many substitutes are going to be made for the Griquas here. I think they're very happy with what they see on the field here. What a try. What a moment. George Whitehead, who has kicked, I think, pretty flawlessly. I don't think he's missed one, actually. Sends another one sailing through. 35 points, 26. It's a 9-point game. Yeah, the skip pass past Tertius Kriya to Sangwa Klamlash was perfect from Johan Mulder. Brilliant line being run by him, getting away from Ruan now. As soon as he made that gap, nobody was stopping him. Oh, but the Western Province are not done yet. They've turned the ball over. Masimla's gone pretty flat to Marcel Tennyson. He's searching for a hat-trick here, but penalty as well. Western Province are going to have to try and score quickly if they're going to try and mount a bit of a comeback here. I personally think it looks almost like a forward pass, which would have been the first infringement, actually. And there's a couple of subs here now. Johan Retief will see out the last 6 minutes. And it looks like Regan Owen is on as well. So Johan Mulder had a very good game. I was very impressed with the young scrum off. Very, very good take. Once again, the Griquas have turned that ball over. They have been superb at the lineouts today. Western Province lineout has been dreadful, and the Griquas have exploited it time after time after time again. And now with 5 minutes to go, couple of carries now, create a decent angle, and get this ball as far downfield as possible. That can be the only plan right now. Goes back to Whitehead. And Whitehead launches. Roscoe Speckman will chase. And prevent the quick throw from being taken. Less than 5 minutes. Well, apparently it wasn't the best clearance from Whitehead. Just outside 22. He's not particularly happy with that, as you can imagine. But they have at least pushed Western Province back a further 10 to 15 meters. Now Andrew Igor Fenton needs to find his line jumper this time. Ruben van Heerden pops it down to Gardner. A similar much better lineup. Mathieu going nice and short to Cornel Smith. Finally, Sergio once again there to make the tackle. Now Fenter. Similar going to Ruben van Heerden. Really big tackle coming from him. And penalty advantage. That's an intercept, but it's a penalty advantage. They have to come back. I think that's a bit harsh. I think as soon as the referee actually told him he was off his feet, he did release. But slowing the ball down is the call. So it'll be a penalty for the Western Province. 4 minutes to go. Decision time this. So this for me is where you go for poles. Yeah, and the T has come on. You've got it. You've got to go for poles and then get yourself back in the half and try and see if you can score again, really. And he does nail it. Right, the restart from George Whitehead. Down to Cornel Smith. 6 points. So West Province got to try and score a converted try to win this. They've got 2.5 minutes to do that. Nettling Bashir, Eddie Bashir rather has come onto the field. Nettling Bashir left a while ago. Azabuko trying to get over the advantage line, but Western Province are way back inside the 22. Mathieu going short to Andrew Hugo Fenter. Tertius Kriya meeting him in the tackle. Jeepers me, the Griquas are up for this. They're heading them back further and further back over the advantage line. Hugh Fenter, big hit from him. They have another go there. Just outside $22 Western Province. Penalty to the Griquas. Well, there we go. That could be it. That is probably it. They're going to take the points here. What a win this is going to be for the Griquas. Absolutely brilliant stuff from them. Right, the kick to come from George Whitehead. This has been absolutely brilliant. What did I say? I kept saying that you've got to put them away. And they didn't. And they didn't, and they didn't, and they didn't. And the Greek was stuck in there. And funny, actually, I don't want to be that person, but I called it from the beginning. From like the 15th minute, I said, if you let them stay in the game, they very often score late. They very often can run in a try or two. The time's gone red. George Whitehead has put that straight down the middle. Final score will be 38.29. Western Province will leave with just 1 point. The Griquas, a bonus point win against the Western Province. That keeps them alive. Look what it means to them. What a brilliant game of rugby. A brilliant result for Griquas. Disaster for the Western Province. That could very well be them out of the Currie Cup. But that's what makes the Currie Cup so special, isn't it? Results like this, matches like this, moments like this. People, thank you very much for joining me. I will see you guys tomorrow for Lions versus the Sharks. What a game that is set to be, especially on the back of this. So really looking forward to that one. Have a fantastic evening. Coming up very shortly will be the Griffins taking on the Bulls. The Bulls will do well to make a hash of it, but if they do, then they could actually almost sort of really throw out the Currie Cup and make it anyone's game. Please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well, as we're trying on the road to 27,000 subscribers. And I'll see you guys all next time.